Good afternoon, dear students. In this short video, I would like to discuss the chapter Learning to be a Mother by Shashi Deshpande. In this chapter, she talks about the idea of motherhood and the myths associated with it. When you look at the chapter, you may think that this essay is going to tell you some tips to become a good mother, but it actually debunks these notions that we often attach with motherhood. She begins the essay by talking about some of the information that she gained from her own mother. She learned that mothers are just like gods. To hurt them is to commit a sin. They often sacrifice everything for the children. They don't want anything for themselves, but everything for their children. She learned that childbirth is painful but a joyous experience, and a mother can never be unjust or unfair. She loves her children equally. These are some of the concepts that she learned from her own mother. She asked a very important question here. What was the reality, or what is the reality? When she becomes a mother, she has experienced a lot of things which she explains later on. But as a child itself, she has seen mothers often get tired of their children. They use words like, "Oh God, what do you want now? Why don't you go out? And even get out of my sight." These are some of the words that you can find mothers sometimes use. She goes on explaining that mothers may be sometimes partial. She says that it is not wise to tell them secrets because that may become a family joke. So then she explains what happens when she became a mother herself. She learned that childbirth is not a it is a painful experience, but you are not supposed to cry even when you are experiencing pain. If you do that, it becomes a public you know public shame. You will be laughed at. So you have the stretch mark when you give birth to a child. So this is actually a painful experience that often a mother experiences. And one more thing that we need to learn, that she tries to make us understand, that is, by just becoming a mother, you are not going to be a different person. What we call goodness and nobility never comes all on a sudden. Look at that. She even goes on saying that even breastfeeding is not so easy. You have to learn these things. Then, when children start to grow, she understands that there are occasions when she needs to quarrel with the children. She becomes sometimes, selfish. The problem that haunted her when she became a mother is this: there is an ideal concept about motherhood which she imbibed, and there is a reality. It doesn't match. So this creates a lot of confusion in her mind, and she explains, this is a problem that most of the mothers experience, because they live by imbibing this ideal concept about motherhood from stories, from movies. You get a perfect symbol of mother. For example, she cites an example of a story which all of us might have heard, a story of a son. Look at this. Look at this mother. The idea that we might have heard from the stories. There is a story of the mother who so loved her son she could deny him nothing. You might have heard this story. And the son, instigated by the cruel young woman he loved, asked her for her heart, which she gladly allowed him to cut out of her body. And when he was rushing to his beloved with his mother's heart in his hand, he fell, and the heart said, my son, have you hurt yourself? So, these kinds of stories, Shashi Deshpande says, which woman can refuse the halo that such story promises to all mothers? You know, can we turn away from the thought of such totally selfless love? Then she explains about movies. She says that most of the movie pictures women as a saintly figure. You can never see in a movie where a mother eats as she wants. And she says that talking about sexuality of a mother is blasphemy. You can never see such things in a movie. So she completely rejects this white clad, unreal figure. She says that she has mocked at her and rejected that figure. But still, that figure is there, which disturbs often. You know, so she says that when she starts writing, in her works also, works like Death of a Child or The Dark Horse, No Terrors, you find characters, mother and children, uh, especially mothers, are not so loving and so unwomanly, and people often ask questions about these characters. See, but the answer that comes to her mind is quite natural. People are searching for a stereotyped images of loving mothers, and they don't find it. That is the only reason that she can give. Then she explains, she addresses this question very seriously. When her children have gone away to live their own lives, she finds answer to this question. The problem is, when you become a mother, she says, you do not automatically shed all your personality and become just a mother. You are still the person you were, an individual who has lived and developed for years before becoming a mother. Motherhood is neither sacred nor holy, it is natural. So, this is an important point that we have to understand. This is the crux of the matter. So, a mother, maybe they are just human beings. That is why mothers can be selfish, mothers can be cruel, mothers can want freedom from clinging. All this, even while they are loving their children and nurturing them. But this is a point that we have problem to understand. So she says, why didn't someone tell me this earlier? See, the idea is this: most of the women, they experience this problem because they have an ideal figure in their mind and their real life. When they don't find a balance, when they feel that this ideal figure, this concept that she has in her mind doesn't match with her reality, there are some problems. she begins to think that she's not a good mother. So that is why we have to, first of all, give up these notions. We need to accept that women are mothers, are human beings as well. She explains another important aspect as well, about her writing career. And as a mother who writes, she often faced lot of issues. That is, when a man becomes a writer, nobody asks about her, about his other role, that is his role of a father. But when a mother becomes a writer, people often ask questions about her family. People think that for her, family comes first. But she says, as a mother, a professional writer, she wants both. And she manages both. This is again another issue that we face. So, all these problems occur because we accept, we imbibe that motherhood is something noble and something that we venerate, and as a result, we don't expect her to behave just like a natural human beings. So sometimes when she feels that she's not the ideal woman that she is, she answers that, she says that I am, first of all, a human being. I am a human being first, a mother next. So that is the idea this essay tries to give us. So a mother is also a human being, and she has all the weaknesses, flaws that you may find in a human being. Accept it and look at her as a human being. That is the wonderful point that this essay shares with all of us. I have tried to give you some idea from this text. I request all of you to read this essay. This is really interesting because this will definitely make you a little bit uh, disturbed, and I think that is precisely what a work of literature should do. It should disturb us, it should make you to think about what is often considered as normal, and then only you begin to question things. And I think Shashi Deshpande really succeeded in doing that. And as a teacher, I have experienced some real difficulty when I try to discuss this topic in my class. Most of the students said that we have problems to digest this chapter because the mother that she talks about is something that we cannot accept. So we need to sometimes think about topics like this to make us really experience or to look at things from a broader perspective. So I think this is a wonderful piece that everybody should read and understand. And thank you for being with me. And I feel this is a wonderful essay that you must read. Thank you very much.